we got another like goal, and as reward, we'll be playing as the Germans in the Second World War scenario, and we'll do our best to win the war this time. If we get 10,000 likes, we'll do the World War I scenario, and if we reach 115,000 subs, my wife said that she will play EU4, so consider subscribing if you like to see that happen. We are using the extended timeline mod, and we switched over to the 1939 start date, as it is the most accurate start date for this scenario. I do have a few questions. So if this guy's got 402, why does this guy have 225? I mean, he was not the best militarily either. All right, in any case, let's start this up. So let's see how viable this scenario actually is. We have a lot of troops, but it does look like we start with minus 167 ducats, and our economy is basically ruined. We cannot sustain an army at all. I mean, 740 army maintenance, and we're only producing 361 income. That is really bad. That is actually really bad. I guess before we start actually fighting, we need to fix our economy, and we need to make sure this country doesn't go bankrupt in a few years. We're also gonna need some manpower, but we're gonna go for the trade efficiency, one Republican tradition, noise. Do these juicy missions that we apparently have right now, and of course our estates. We do have some decent generals. We will focus 100% on the Poles first off. Let's get Mr. Manstein in charge of this army so we can take the fort in Poznan, and we're gonna take the other one here with our tank army. Apparently we got Churchill tanks as the Germans. Make sure we engage as well these guys. Let's actually make our ruler a general. Let's put him in charge of the secondary army and take some forts with it actually. I think the main reason our economy is so bad is because we don't actually have any buildings built anywhere at all. So after we build these things, it's gonna be a lot better, but we need to build these up first. We literally don't have a single building except the forts, bro. Seriously? Let's get a spy network on Poland also, and another one on the French. I mean, it's pretty accurate the amount of nations that we're at war with, to be fair. There are some inaccuracies when it comes to the cultural map mode that I've noticed, and I also am not sure how I feel about the religious map mode. Everybody's secular here, and that's preventing people from even doing any cultural conversions, if you know what I'm saying. One more thing I noticed is that none of my armies actually have artillery pieces. That is a really big problem, actually. The French do have artillery. What? Okay, this is just not fair. Even the Italians have artillery and I don't? Really? Really, modding team? Okay, we did find 22 artillery pieces in this army sieging down Warsaw. Let's do a bit of barragio and assault ski. We want to take these provinces as quickly as possible so we can peace out the Poles and focus on the Western Front. The French were trying to pull a sneaky and were trying to bypass my defenses on the Rhineland. Cannot let that happen, Frenchio. Cannot let that happen at all, sir. This game is lagging as schnapps right now, by the way. Well, looks like the Soviet Union wants to get military access. What wrong can come of this decision? Am I right? Let's be friends with them for now. I also noticed another thing. Sieges last for 3 days. What? That basically means forts are useless now. And I wasted 50 points on that fort then. Also, what? US wants to be my ally? Okay, no, I'm gonna go slightly historical, so I'm not gonna ally the US, alright? Poland was historically divided between the Soviets and the Germans. Can we piece them out? We can piece them out. What kind of lands can we take, though? I want to take this. This looks beautiful to me, but they don't agree to it right now. I probably need to kill off their armies before they accept my terms. The historical battle of Budweis between Polish hussars and German. Oh my god, I'm losing so badly. What? Why did I join that with like 0 morale? Let's engage them a second time here, and this time we do have the morale. US declared on British Pacific. What? Right, I see why, because the British Pacific is actually a colonial nation and they're not bringing in their overlord because the US is also a colonial nation. That's just EU4 in a nutshell for you right there, boys. And of course the Italians are losing hard to the French, as you would expect. I mean, they are fighting back, to be fair. And they managed to get a pretty decent fight here in a mountain area, so the French get a bit of a debuff. The Italians did lose still. We can piece out the Poles, however, so let's do that. And we've done the Eastern Front for now. Now we got to focus on the Western Front. Feel a little bit weird because I'm supposed to get these provinces also after the Polish conquest, right? Also, technically, Slovakia should have these 2 provinces as well, since they did border Romania in the north. I mean, now it's just border gore, man. The Soviets left these 2 provinces as an exclave of the Polish state? Really? Really? Ugh, this is making me cringe so hard, it's insane. I also don't have a border with the Soviets. How am I supposed to do Barbarossa, sir? Regardless of the game, however, France is always pretty easy to take over and conquer, that's for sure. And because of financial reasons, I did disband a lot of my troops, mostly the cavalry units, or tanks as they're called here. So we're only losing 124 per month now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a few loans ahead of time, and I'm gonna use these loans to invest in my country. I'm gonna build some of these counting houses, which will give me a lot more income in the long run. I also want to build the furnaces, but these will take quite a little bit of time to finish, 5 years, and by 45 the war should be finished. So I'm just gonna dump everything into counting house, or even factories. I just realized I got factories as well I can build, and we do have quite a bit of professionalism, so we're gonna slacken and get some manpower in return. And oh my god, I just realized the reforms are massive. We can have up to 23 government reforms. Absolutely insane. I managed to get one extra diplomat from this reform, for example, and some more morale of armies from this one. The lag is pretty bad, not gonna lie. It's getting worse and worse actually the more I play this through. I think it's mainly because the English have a massive army, and not only do the English have a massive army, but all of the other nations in the coalition. If I click on this, it's lagging so hard. Look at this. I can barely even scroll around the monitor. I have to click close in order to oh, come on, click. Please click close. Oh god. So yeah, it's a great scenario, but you need to have a NASA computer to actually play this out. Luckily, I have something close to a NASA computer, so it's not that bad overall. I can literally see the frames whenever the game is. Oh my god, this is just stuck now, bro. Come on. All right, it's working. It's kind of working, I guess. It's stuck again. Oh boy, and we got a 0 roll followed by a 5. We got a 5. It's not that bad, guys. All right, we won that battle. Nice. Okay, we're hunting down the last of the French troops now. After we kill these guys off, they got no more units left, so we essentially only need to worry about the English and the next war that we're gonna start against other people. And by other people, I actually mean the Dutch, who apparently are allied to the Chinese, and not the English. I don't know what's up with that, but I'm not complaining. And yes, I got more manpower because I slack in recruitment. Chill the schnapple out, okay?
Oh, I didn't see how he went from 2,000 to 60,000 manpower.
Bruh. I actually really like the sprites that the Dutch have. Look at these Chad Lords over here, man. They're so cool. Look at all these constructions I'm doing right now. I took over 30,000 ducats in loans, so I'm basically building workshops in every province. That should give me an extra 300 ducats per month after they finish. So that's even gonna cover up the interest from the loans. I just realized that actually the French have colonies here in Africa, same that you would have in the New World. Very, very interesting how they actually made colonial system in the African parts. Obviously, it's only available for this scenario, but I like the way that they actually built up the scenario. Kudos for all the hard work. Even Belgian Congo exists as a colony of Belgium and a lot of other parts around here. You know what? Let's take a second to look around the world first. I also noticed that they've divided American in 3. They got Western American, regular American, and Dixie. Interesting way of portraying the Americans. We also got the Canadians in the north, as well as the Quebecois, some Cree people still around here, and even Nova Scotian, which is what? Nova Scotian is actually part of the Gaelic group. Wow, okay. Surprised that we still have some Nogai and some Alans over here in the Caucasus regions of the Soviet Union, as well as the Oirats still exist in this particular province. Essentially, these are the Kalmyk people that migrate to this area a few hundred years prior to this start date. They've also shown the Siberian parts of Russia as a mix between Russian, Kamchatkan, and the various other local cultures, which is accurate. Even today, even though they speak Russian, most of these people still have some unique cultural identities and even some languages that they speak in certain parts of Siberia. One more thing I want to say, and I think this is very common even for the base EU4 game, the Japanese region should not be shown as one particular culture. I mean, okay, culturally speaking, obviously they're Japanese and they share the same customs and so on. But language-wise, especially in the 1940s, there would have still been a lot of differences. In today's age, 2021, there are different dialects in the various prefectures of Japan. Like there's Akita-ben, for example, in the area of Akita, which is in-game as Ugo, and people from Kansai cannot understand what people from Akita are speaking, for example. So that would be a different culture, in my opinion, since the language, at least, is literally not intelligible unless you actually grew up in that area. And it's the same for the entirety of the Japanese islands. Like you would have Kyushun, Kansai, Kanto, various dialects here, or you can just say Tohoku dialects, and so on. Definitely not one single culture for the entirety of Japan. I mean, they've done it for this area with the Ryukyuan being separate, but if you do it for Ryukyuan, then you have to do it for all the other regions because there's no difference. I like that they made Filipino a separate culture group. This makes sense linguistically and culturally speaking. They are very different from the rest of the Southeast Asian nations, and Malay together with the other Indonesian languages are in one culture group as well. That is also accurate. One thing I do have to say is that I would probably add Tajik, Kyrgyz, Uzbek, Kazakh to the same group with the Turkmeni, Azerbaijani, and Turkish though, since it is the same culture group and the same linguistic group. If you want to simulate the fact that Turkish, even though linguistically is the same, is a bit of a different culture because it got separated from these areas for so long, then you could add all of these in one culture and then add Turkic with Azerbaijani in a separate culture. Also, a little bit weird that Canada is an independent country. Both Canada and Australia would still be under the British Crown at this point, so what on earth actually happened here? If Australia is a PU under Great Britain, why isn't Canada a PU under Great Britain as well? I mean, even South Africa is a dominion of Great Britain. There you go. It's called a dominion, apparently. Did they start as a dominion and just cancel the dominion whilst I was playing? I guess that could be one of the reasons. Also, excuse me, sir, but Francisco Franco is a 015. Really? Really? And Carol is a 505? Bro, this guy should be a 000, not a 5 and 5, okay? He was horrible at administrating the country and horrible at the military aspect of the country. One of the best things about the extended timeline mod is the fact that the borders are really well made and the provinces are quite accurate compared to most other mods out there. So you can see this is actually the greater Romanian borders, and you also have their German Empire borders and so on. I'm not sure why they didn't flesh this one out here. I would say that the province of Kujavin should have been a little bit more trimmed so it looks properly historical borders, but still better than a lot of other mods out there when it comes to border shapes. Oh god, look at the devastation map mode of Poland and France. France is getting absolutely devastated. The entire country has been taken over by the Germans, and we're not gonna piece them out, at least not for a while. I'm also gonna start building railways around the entirety of the country. What this does is it gives me 40% friendly movement speed as well as local trade power and institution spread. So as you can imagine, railways are extremely great. It helps you outrun your enemy in your core territories, and that can win you a lot of battles and stack wipe a lot of units. Also, I gotta build some more training fields to increase the amount of manpower I'm getting and some soldiers' household. But like I said, it's gonna take a long time to get these finished, so I'm just gonna focus on the short-term bonuses that I get from the soldiers' households and the production buildings. US declared on the French Pacific to spread democracy. Oh man, they need to add a look for oil CB for the US, especially just for them. I actually just realized that I did not declare the war on the Soviets yet. I forgot completely, and this game is running a lot faster than Hoi 4, so we already are in 41. Let's go with the imperialism CB, and attack is a Soviet Union. I'm sorry, what? Nepalese troops are sieging down Vienna. Okay, this is a very historical siege of Vienna by the brave Nepalese troops, of course. Oh, we got a beach landing. Is it the invasion of Normandy? A little bit early for that, isn't it? But it does seem like the British are definitely planning something over here. Oh boy, is that the German army intercepting the Canadians over here? Yes, it is, and they got instantly stack wiped, essentially. Oh, looks like Australia wants to join the fray as well. So I just realized the Netherlands never gonna piece me out because they got 90% of their country directly owning the Dutch East Indies. So essentially, I gotta get to the Dutch East Indies to get the lands in Europe, boys. Fascist revolution in France. I have to say, though, the amount of idea groups that we have unlocked already is just absolutely insane. And because of that, even though we have policies, we can get some more policies in here to help out in the wars. Such as, for example, trade efficiency and movement speed that helps both our economy and our armies. Or even infantry compatibility. I think I'm gonna go for that one, actually, for this war. Oh, look how cool the Slovak units are, man. Why does everybody get super awesome sprites and then I get this generic one? Really? Feels bad. Also noteworthy that we can form the European Union. We just need to have a little bit more diplotech unlocked. The European Union is essentially the HRE with a bit of a different system overall. I feel a little bit weird about the fact that Army Group North is commanded by this guy over here. If this was historical, the Germans would have lost a lot sooner. I'm actually gonna slacken one more time because I need to build up some more artillery units. 60,000 should be okay for now, and then we can get these divided and split up so we can add a certain amount to each of the army groups. Right now, we're actually not doing too much damage because we are lacking artillery for most of the frontline units. The fact that the sieges are so fast is also ridiculous. I mean, 6 days to take Pskov, 11 days for Lubny, and these are forts. I feel like they should really nerf this a little bit, because right now I'm going from fort to fort and I'm getting all the war score that I need to piece out the Soviets without even engaging their main armies, and they have 600,000 troops, double what I have right now. You see what I was saying, guys? We managed to get up to 700 total income by building the right buildings in our country, and we haven't even finished that process. Literally doubled our income in just 3 years. And would you look at that, Moscow fell after just 82 days. I'm guessing this was a level 8 fort, level 4 fort, fair enough. As did Leningrad here. It's also time to engage the Red Army. Oh boy, they got 100,000 in that province. I probably should not have engaged them with 65,000, should I? We got more morale than they got, actually. And they don't have a leader. Oh, that's gonna make a big difference. Can we actually get reinforcement? We won. We didn't need the reinforcements. Let's go for the fort that they have in Astrakhan. We already managed to get 38% war score simply from taking their capital and most of the forts that they have on the European side. Their army is somewhere else, so I assume that they got another war going on somewhere. Wow, that autosave is literally taking me half an hour. Yep, they got another war against Afghanistan. Soviet-Afghan imperialist war. Seems legit to me. Oh, would you look at that? The Canadians came to the exact same place to attack me, and they still don't realize they need 32 regiments in order to actually siege this. We got Laos troops here? What? Egyptian troops as well? Alright, it's the might of the Commonwealth, guys. It's the might of the Commonwealth and all the other allied nations. Finally, the English landed as well in Cayenne. I'm gonna call this one the D-Day invasion because the closest we'll ever get to a D-Day invasion. Oh, what? Turkey just attacked Greece? What a violation of international law. You should be ashamed of yourself, Turkey. How dare you be so aggressive? Once more, Vienna is taken out by the Soviets this time. Working together. No, it's Oman. It is Oman that took this over. My bad. The English were pushed back, but they got the islands here in Jersey. I cannot take the islands because I don't have naval supremacy, sadly. So they got a foothold whenever they want to invade me. Historically speaking, these islands were actually the only British lands that the Germans actually did take. They did occupy these, but didn't manage to get any other islands from the British aside from these small ones here. Hello, National Bank. I'm gonna go ahead and say interest per annum because I really need to lower that interest that I got right now. Can we get an F in the chat for the brave Canadian troops over here that got stack wiped the second time? You would think they learned the lesson, but hey, the English have actually started quite aggressively attacking me at this point. Since I'm busy in the Soviet Union, they're landing every other month essentially. So I do notice a bit of an issue here. Essentially, I cannot really take land from the Soviets directly here because Poland's in the way, but I could be a massive cuck and I could start taking stuff like this and essentially split their country up into half all the way from the south to the north of their nation. Do this peace deal right here. Actually, they would agree to this even now. And we cut their country up in half. Oh my god, I'm so doing this. I am so freaking doing this. Hell yeah, boys. First German-Soviet imperialism war gave us the German-Russian lands over here, okay? This is historical. This is exactly how the Germans wanted to take the land from the Soviets. I like that they added so many extra ages. So we're in the Great War age now, which is the second to last one. And there's a lot of unique bonuses that we can actually start getting in this age, including the construction of nuclear weapons. And specific to us is the land leader shock +2. The Russians got cav cost reduction, Americans got goods produced, and the Japanese got morale 50. Oh wow, that's massive. We can do the moon landing. What? Is that like a decision, the moon landing? That sounds really cool, not gonna lie. Start the space program. Okay, so we need Diplotech 88 and 10,000 ducats, as well as some mana points. Fair enough. Let's go ahead and stack wipe these boys trying to siege down our lands. Easiest stack wipe in the history of Stacken Vapenicums. Hot diggity dog. Dear Lord, France is absolutely destroyed. Look at the amount of rebels they got alone. I could just be really nasty now and go and say, get these provinces I'm interested in, get the money, peace out the French, and essentially now they got to deal with all of the rebels whilst they have no army to speak of. Actually, I can also peace out the Dutch, and I can take all of the proper Dutch lands, even some money from them. And there you go. We've essentially gotten the highest dev lands in this region. We're gonna keep Belgium alive. Belgium is our friend. Everybody knows Belgium is our secret ally in this whole situation. It's how we got our funding. To be fair, guys, the world of EU4 is not meant for a World War II scenario. If you want to play a World War II scenario, you obviously should just play Hearts of Iron 4. But it definitely is a unique take on what the World War II scenario would be if you decide to play it. So I highly recommend you guys check out the extended timeline mod. You'll have all the links in the description, and you try this scenario out for yourself. It is quite entertaining. I personally find it really amazing how well they've done the map, and the added buildings really make a massive difference. Especially the movement speed increase is amazing. So if you do start from an earlier start date, you do have enough time to build up so that when the World War II scenario starts, if you end up in that sort of scenario, it's going to be a lot more entertaining and a lot more balanced, let's say, since nations are actually going to have the buildings that they need to fight. I really did enjoy this one, and if you guys enjoyed it as well, consider leaving a like. If we get 10,000 likes, we'll do a World War I scenario similar to this with the extended timeline mod, and consider subscribing if you enjoyed the channel and want to see more videos like these done in the future. Overall, I'll give this a good 9 out of 10 Ludi enjoyment level for this particular scenario, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So remember to be good people, or I'm coming for you. And I want to give a very big thank you to all of my channel members, Patreon members, as well as my Twitch supporters. I really wouldn't be able to do this without all of your support. You guys are absolutely amazing.